Greetings, I am Tom Earl, and this is my year of courage. Hope you're having a wonderful day. I want to thank you for joining us here at the celebration. I know you could be anywhere, so the fact that you are here today means the absolute world to me. Today, we have a special episode for you. It is a bonus episode. It is going to be a replay of February's live and online expression session. If you're a regular listener of the celebration, you know that we share these now and again. They're a great opportunity to get insights into some of the live events that we do. This is a live and online writing workshop that happens every third Sunday of the month. A couple things to keep in mind is that I will have edited out all of the silent parts where we write. For instance, there's a 10-minute free write, or there's some writing where people write for their group home, and I've edited those moments out. So if you're writing with us at home, if you're following along while you're listening and writing, just make sure you pause, write, and then hit play when you're ready to come back in. If you'd like to hear the episode in its full length, you can join Art Makes Impact for free. That is the online course, a part of the Celebration Academy, where all of the replays are stored. So if you'd like to join Art Makes Impact and listen to all of our past expression sessions for free, you can go to tomroll.com/courses and you can hear it there. And so without further ado, I'll step out of the way and let you enjoy this month's replay of the live and online expression session. Greetings, everyone. Welcome to this month's live and online expression session. Appreciate you all being here so much. Can you snap it up for your beautiful and wonderful selves? Yes, indeed. Our theme this month is perseverance. So our conversations are going to center around that. Our feature is Charlene E. Green. She also goes by the name of Hustle Diva. Charlene came down with the flu. So she's laying down and listening, but she only has enough energy for her feature. So what she's going to do is she's going to join us right around her feature. She's going to, share what she can, and then she's going to peace out. So we appreciate that. I don't know if y'all have had the flu this season, but I had it last week. And so I feel her and appreciate what she can do. So can we snap it up and send some healing energy to Charlene?
Positive vibes.
So normally this would be where I'd ask the feature why they selected this as the theme. Obviously, Charlene's not here, so I can share with you what Charlene said in the interview. And she basically talked about how if you're going to follow your dream, if you're going to stick true to what you do, then you're going to need perseverance to do that. And so that's all that Charlene's, one of the major things her poetry and her work focuses on is listening and staying into your gifts. So that was why she selected perseverance as the theme. Does that make sense to everybody?
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. So what we'll do is we're going to go around in a circle. And if you could just share 3 things: your name, your pronouns, and if you could share what perseverance means to you. Does that make sense? Wonderful. Who would like to jump us off? Who would like to get us started?
I can go.
Okay, go for it.
So my name's Mariceli. I go by Mari, and my pronouns are she and her. I consider myself straight, heterosexual, and ally. And perseverance, what it means to me is steadfastness in the face of obstacles. Life is not going to be easy, and it's one of those qualities that you really need to keep in the back of your mind at all times in order to be successful in life. So, yeah.
It's wonderful. Can we snap it up for Mariceli? Yes, staying steadfast in the face of obstacles. Who would like to go next? Go ahead, Ash.
So I go by Ash. Today my pronouns are she, her. or they, them. And for me, I think that perseverance is kind of synonymous with discipline. So I am really big into kind of self-discipline and reevaluating that like as needed with yourself and within your relationships with other people, whether those are platonic, romantic, what have you. And I think that like discipline gives you the vehicle to move forward in, and perseverance is the force that moves you forward. So
that's deep. Appreciate that, Ash. Can we snap it up, please? Raza, what about for you?
Okay, so this is Raza from Corona, and the pronoun is he, him, and that's me today. And to me, perseverance is actually basically being resilient in the face of all the challenges that come my way. And again, lately trying to be strong about getting back up no matter how hard you get hit, and just being resilient, no matter how big the challenges, standing right back up and dealing with it, being resilient.
That's powerful. Being resilient in the face of challenges that come your way. Can we snap it up for Raza, please? Yes, indeed. So it looks like everybody here's attended before, but just in case for the folks watching on Facebook Live or listening to the replay, what we do is this is a writing workshop that is a safe space for people to express themselves. There's no wrong or right way to do art. Everyone has creativity, no matter what we've been taught. Whatever you express, we're going to snap it up and share our love for. So the first hour and a half is going to be a writing workshop, with the first hour being us writing and the last half hour being us sharing our poems. And then the experience is going to culminate with our feature performance by Charlene, and that's when she will tune in. As I mentioned, she has the flu. So that's what we're going to do for the next 2 hours. And I see Adora has been able to join us. How's it going, Adora?
Very well. Thank you for your patience.
Yes, indeed. So our theme is perseverance. So if you wouldn't mind sharing your name, your pronouns, and what perseverance means to you.
My name is Adora. My pronouns are her and she and all of that. And for me, perseverance is really the whole keep on keeping on thing. Doesn't mean that you blindly keep doing the same thing and expecting different results. I think there needs to be room for adaptability in perseverance, but just that whole sense of knowing you're heading in the right direction, just continuing on that journey and jumping over the obstacles you can jump over, going around the ones that you can't, or even digging deep underground to come out on the other side.
Keep on keeping on while at the same time adapting. I dig that. Can we snap it up for Adora, please? Wonderful. So the first thing we're going to do is to dispel any myths or resistance we might have to writing a poem by showing that we can write a group poem in a matter of minutes. So what I'm going to invite you to do is, if you could write down 2 independent sentences that are around the theme of perseverance. Anything that comes up to you, keeping in mind that you're not going to read the sentences one after the other. They're going to end up being split up. So if you need to read them right in a row, just be aware that they're going to get split up. Any sentences, they don't have to rhyme. They don't have to be clever. Just whatever comes to your mind. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, go for it.
Yes, my love? Sure.
Folks on Facebook Live, if you post your sentence, I can read it for you. So just post your sentence below and we'll read it for you. How's everybody doing? Do you need any more time? So here's what we're going to do. So we're going to read them all right in a row. So we're going to do Ashley, Raza, Adora, Mariceli, and then Tom. And no intros before your sentence. No, I could have done this better, or it doesn't make any sense, or no explanations. When your time comes, you just read your sentence right out. Does that make sense?
Perfect.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Ready when you are, Ash.
Okay. Perseverance. All my memories of this word are bright, loud, with a white beacon.
Challenges, obstacles, bring it on, because I'm ready to deal with you head on.
Onwards.
Perseverance doesn't keep me from falling, but it helps me get back up from the ground.
Pause, breathe, and enjoy the journey.
But I lied. With perseverance, I also remember how strong my body can become, and did become quietly.
Life. At times you do knock me down, but I've learned slowly to get immune by your blows and be resilient in your face.
Faith is my slow burning fuel. Even in the short term, it is always about the long game.
Steadfastness in the face of life's obstacles is what helped me find my spiritual path.
Joy is the fuel of perseverance. Go team! Now is the time where we can give explanations, commentary, thoughts, anything you'd like to add. What were your reactions? How was that hearing your sentence connected with everybody else's?
I think I love the synchronicity where both of us had fuel in our second sentences.
Yes.
I think it's hard to tell that a couple of people wrote it without consulting each other. I mean, I've seen it happen before, but this is one of the times where very specifically it felt like I would say something and then Raza would say something, and then as Adora said something that Mariceli would like echo it, and I was like, wow, this is getting deep. So
I was go on.
Go ahead.
Oh, thank you. I was pleasantly surprised that Adora and I had a similar train of thought about like spirituality and how it tied to perseverance.
What was similar? What sounded similar to you?
I mentioned something about how in order to find what was going through my mind is when you put yourself through a spiritual path, you need perseverance in order to stay on that path. And I know I don't remember exactly what Adora said, but I know she mentioned something along similar lines. So yes.
That's wonderful.
I talked about faith in mine, and then Mariceli talks about spirituality, and I thought, wow.
Raza, what were you going to say, brother?
I was going to echo what Ash was saying too. That it's really surprising, and there are connections, and especially what you and Adora said. I feel like there's when you have that deep connection, that energy just totally comes through. So wow, how amazing is that?
Yes. What do you think is so that was we all have that feeling when it kind of has the synchronicity and the similarity and the connection. Why do you think that feels so good and so exciting?
I think it's it's just knowing that there are people who are having similar thoughts or on the same page and in their own way they're either expressing and sharing. We may feel a little differently on the inner side of things, I think, but again, dealing with it in the same way when it comes to perseverance, finding strength in your own way. I don't know if I'm making sense, but
no, yeah, it makes sense. And seeing other people have it the same way, that form of similarity and connection.
Yeah.
It also made me start looking for an explanation. I was thinking, oh, did something someone said earlier with the introduction just trigger all these words in us, or are we just echoing something we heard? But I wasn't even listening when a lot of the introductions were happening, so I don't know how. It's just, I guess it's part of the vortex.
What were you going to say, Ash?
Oh, well, kind of to echo Raza, I was going to say that's what this is for, right? Like that's what poetry is for, to kind of take what's ailing you or what's on your mind and express it to other people, and kind of hope that, you know, it's a shared experience. And so to see it like happen organically, so it's not just you reading to like a void of an audience, or not just you kind of writing all of your words down in a book and sending it out like it's happening in real time. That's just, it's really powerful.
That's wonderful. Mariceli, did you have anything you wanted to add?
I've had this experience a couple of times where, you know, a group of people sit down together and somehow we end up on the same train of thought. And when it comes to like creative people, we tend to lean on certain aspects of, how can I say, like, we tend to lean on certain things, quote unquote things, that are very similar. And you know, I know I have like a syncretic spirituality, and I know Adora is Christian, and I'm not sure about you, Ash, but I mean, it's okay that I don't know. And I know, Tom, you're Muslim, and Rasa is Muslim, and despite all the differences between us, when it comes to spirituality, there's always that root, that core. And seeing that the topic today is perseverance, any path that you go on, you need to have that quality. So it doesn't surprise me that we all said similar things.
Yes, indeed. Well, I appreciate y'all's response. It's a question that I reflect upon often, is why connection and synchronicity feels so good to people. Because I do relationship building, such an important part of everything I do. And I notice that even a commonality, like we have the same favorite color, that you can get people who are once enemies to be like, okay, I trust this person a little bit more. We both like blue. You know? So and I really think it's just that feeling of belonging is just hardwired within us. And whether it's belonging to a group or belonging to a purpose or belonging to a moment, that especially when it comes to perseverance, I really think that persevering as a group really allows people to persevere. So those are my thoughts.
Yeah, Tom, I wanted to add something really fast. A thought just popped up that for me also, it's just a feeling that even in the moment, not knowing, details about anybody, that in that moment, you feel like you're surrounded by like-minded people. You're surrounded by, you're not the only one. And it's just that weird feeling that, you don't know a whole lot of people, but wow, you feel like there's that togetherness and that like-mindedness. That's a great feeling.
Exactly. And I see we got somebody new. Danielle, can you hear us? How's it going?
Yeah, good. How are you?
Good. Would you like to introduce yourself? Or would
sure.
you like?
My name's
Go ahead.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
My name's Danielle. I'm from Vancouver, Canada.
That's wonderful. You just allowed us to go international. This is now an international writing workshop. And Danielle, I know you're on the go. Do you want to just kind of listen and participate when you can? Okay.
Sure, it would be wonderful.
Okay. Just kind of wave to me when you want to participate, and I won't call on you as actively as everybody else because you're on the go. But when you want to, give us a wave, okay?
Okay. Thanks.
Sounds good. And I know Danielle is a part of the Facebook group, the Gratitude Challenge. I'm not sure if anybody else is a part of that group as well. It's a group I founded where our intention is simple: just share one thing you're grateful for every day. So it's great to have you here, Danielle. Well, I'm really enjoying the way our theme perseverance is really showing the similarities and unique ways that we're all approaching it. What we're going to do now is move into Adora's favorite activity, which is now the official name of this activity. No longer 20-second poem. It's Adora's favorite activity. What we're going to do is, for those who already have been here, know, but for our newcomers, you're going to get 20 seconds to answer each one of these writing prompts I'm about to give you. You're going to get 10 altogether, and you'll have 20 seconds to answer each one. The reason you get 20 seconds to answer it is so that instead of thinking about what you're going to write and critiquing it before it even comes out of your mouth, this allows you to tap into your subconscious mind. It allows you to start to trust that inner voice within you that really is the guiding light for all of our writing. Does that make sense to everybody? You're going to hear some questions that have come from your responses. I'll take some of your responses and turn them into questions so we can continue teasing them out. So what you want to do is get a pen, a paper, get your typing fingers ready, get your chisel. You're going to chisel your answer into some stone or steel or something, or some spray paint. I don't know. That's all I can think of. Everybody ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. Here comes your first one. Here it comes. What really matters to you? What really matters to you? Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. When was a time you were grateful for the journey? When was a time you were grateful for the journey? Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Number 3. When was a time where you were steadfast in the face of obstacles? When was a time you were steadfast in the face of obstacles? Number 4. What relationship does discipline have with perseverance? What relationship does discipline have with perseverance? Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Number 4, right? Nope, number 5. How do you adapt while persevering? How do you adapt while persevering? Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Number 6. Who is a role model of perseverance? Who is a role model of perseverance? Five, four, three, two, one. Number 7. One common misconception of perseverance is. One common misconception of perseverance is. Five, four, three, two, one. Number 8. Perseverance often keeps company with what? Perseverance often keeps company with. Five, four, three, two, one. Number 9. What is the reward of persevering? What is the reward of persevering? Five, four, three, two, one. Number 10, the last one. In the end, it all comes down to. In the end, it all comes down to. Five, four, three, two, one. Snap it up for yourselves, my friends. Yes, indeed. Before we get started, did we have somebody new join us? Maybe from a 813 or a 310 number?
This is Hustle Diva.
Who is it?
Hustle Diva.
Hey, how are you?
I'm going to make it.
Yes, indeed. Thank you so much. Oh, Hustle Diva. Okay, got you. I thought you were saying an Arabic name. I was like, where do I know this person from? It's our feature.
How are you guys doing? Yeah, I'm here.
You're with us. We also have some new people on Facebook Live. Ella's joined us on Facebook Live.
Oh, wonderful. Nice to see you, Ella. We'll read your responses for sure. Okay, Hustle Diva, we'll keep you muted and won't call on you so you can save your energy until you're featured. Does that sound good?
Yeah, I just took a pill, so I need about 45 minutes for it to kick in.
That's as much time as you got.
Okay. Thank you.
I'm going to mute your line, so just message me on Facebook if you wanted to chime in before your feature, okay?
Okay, thanks.
Perfect. All right. So now's the fun part. We get to share some of our responses. So what is a number that y'all would like? We'll have each person pick one. So we'll have Mariceli. Why don't you start? What's a number you'd like people to share?
How about number 9?
Number 9. What is the reward of persevering?
So what I put was the following. The reward of persevering is safety and the personal satisfaction of knowing that your endeavors were fruitful.
That's dope. I was not expecting safety. Yeah, usually people say things like going out of your comfort zone, risk, safety. I like that. That's dope. And would anyone else like to share what they wrote for number 9? What is the reward?
I want to just nod back to our synchronicity from earlier. Safety is actually one of my answers for a different question in the list. So I think we are definitely all in some kind of wonderful zone this morning. But my answer for number 9 is new muscles, and be they physical or spiritual muscles, and better understanding.
That's wonderful. I think that should be on a shirt. New muscles. That's cool. I like that phrase. Wonderful. Would anyone else? Ash, Danielle, Raza, would either of you like to share number 9? Okay.
Well, I mean, I basically 9 and 10 were kind of close. Reward or what really matters at the end. I think, I don't know. For me, they were both like you just knowing at the end that you tried your best no matter what, no matter how big or small the challenge was. You were resilient, you were persevering, that you did the best you could. And that also, for me, in some ways, is like rewarding to know that, I did the best I could.
Yes, indeed. Thank you, brother. Ash, what number would you like to have us share out on?
I guess was number 6, who was a role model of perseverance?
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, that one.
You want to start us off?
Sure. Mine is Bruce Lee.
That's a good one.
That's my answer.
That's a really good one.
Mm-hmm.
Ella had an answer on Facebook Live, and she was saying, most recently, the mother of one of the Pulse victims. And I believe that's the nightclub.
The Orlando shooting.
Mm-hmm.
Did she clarify why?
She didn't, but I don't know if you can hear me clearly. Would you clarify why you wanted to highlight the Pulse victim's mother?
And we'll come back for the response. Would anyone else like to share on that one? Who's a role model that you have for perseverance?
Oh, I would.
Go ahead, Mariceli.
So I put the following. My great-grandfather was a model of perseverance. He was forced to leave school in the 3rd grade to support his family, and eventually he became a businessman. So, yeah.
Wow.
Things were different back in the early 1900s. So, but yeah.
Yeah, I feel like for that might be a hallmark of the immigrant experience, that perseverance is just so much a part of it.
Yeah.
I also think all of the prophets, whether it's in the Torah, the Bible, or the Quran, that they all had perseverance. You think of all that Moses went through, or poor Job,
Oh, goodness.
Jesus, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. They all had that perseverance to keep on going. So those are some of my role models. Anyone else in this one?
I'd like to mention my cousin Gucci. She, just from a certain age, decided she wanted to be a doctor. And even though science was not her strongest, neither was math, she just went for it. And so she ended up starting off school in Nigeria. Then she couldn't get into medical school, a good one that was locally. So she went to Ghana and studied in Ghana for a while, did as much as she could in Ghana. And then she went to Grenada to keep going. And then after she finished in Grenada as far as she could, she made it to the US and is now just finishing her residency. So she just would not listen to anyone who kept telling her, but you need to be more of a science student. She just knew she wanted to be a doctor. She wanted to help people in a medical way. And we have Dr. Gucci now.
Hey! Is that the wedding we went to?
Yes, that's the same wedding we went to. Managed to get married in between as well.
Wonderful. Let's see here. So we're on Adora now. Adora, what number would you like to have us share out on?
Oh, they're all so good.
I thank you.
Number 2, when were you grateful for the journey?
Yes. Why don't you start us off?
I think for me, it was probably at the time, I never feel very grateful for the journey. I just want it now. I don't want to have to persevere. But when I finally got my green card, I was grateful for that journey, especially because it had a happy ending, but because it also it's given me so much empathy and understanding of the immigrant experience. And I know how I had all the resources, I had all the qualifications, I had all the money, and it was still super, super hard. Whereas there are people I know who are much more deserving of a green card, who don't have half of the resources I have and are just stuck in this struggle. So I'm grateful for that journey and how much it taught me over how many years.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you, Adora. That seems like it kind of echoes what we were talking about with Maricelli's example. Would anyone else like to share on that one? When was the time you were grateful for the journey? Go ahead, Ash.
I'll just say, I put down in hindsight, like without thinking about it, because we only get 20 seconds. And that sounds so impulsive reading it back, but it's true. I don't really, I'm not great at noticing a journey, which is why I think I'm so good at perseverance. Like, it's just, I don't notice it. I just keep going until it's done. And then I look back and I'm like, oh, wow, that was actually a little difficult. And so it's always in hindsight for me that I'm like, oh, wow, like getting my black belt. I didn't realize like how long it was until I tell people about the experience and they're like, wow. And I'm like, I guess that deserves a wow. Like, so.
You're just going to slip that in there?
Yeah, where? That's why I chose Bruce Lee in the last question, man. Come on now. Make the connection.
Okay.
Black belt. That's awesome. I think that echoes what Adora was saying, that at the time it might not be there, but looking back, we can see all that we benefited from the journey. And if we would have just got it in a second, then it wouldn't have been half as good. It kind of reminds me, what comes to mind for me is Ramadan, that the breaking your fast is such a good meal. It's better than if I would have just eaten all day. And to me, it really, if you believe in heaven, breaking your fast to me is such a symbol of what's going to happen when we go to the afterlife, whatever that may be, because it's going to feel that no matter how the struggle was when we were on earth, that once our spirits go back to infinity, it's going to just feel this amazing calmness. Just like no matter how thirsty I was that day during a fast, once I drink water, all my worries about how hard it was are gone in like 10 minutes of eating and laughing with people. So I see that, Adora, you were able to get Ella's response for model of perseverance. Can you share it for us?
Ella was saying that the mother shows great strength. She has not given up in such a difficult situation.
That's wonderful. Thank you for that, Ella. We're glad to have you. Let's see. Danielle, would you like to pick one of the numbers?
Sure. Can you hear me when I say that?
Yep, we can hear you great.
Okay. I've just got my answers to look at. I don't really remember what.
I bet I can tell from your answers. If you want to share one of your answers, I can probably tell you what the question was.
I think actually maybe I'll just add to the one we just did, the number 2. Is that okay?
That sounds wonderful. Go ahead.
It's okay. I think today it was something about the journey, right? For number 2, and my answer was today. I think I was grateful for the journey. That's what the question was. Because a family member I was visiting for the weekend sort of sometimes she's cranky and she scolded me for not really a rational reason, just her mood. And typically I think throughout the years, just kind of grin and bear and be like, I shouldn't call her out or say, maybe you could be a little nicer. I would just kind of take someone's comments like that and get kind of sad and quiet and go off on my own. And I was really proud and comfortable with myself and happy, because I just said, well, you asked me a question and that was my opinion, and I don't see why you're kind of yelling at me. And I didn't even anticipate or think about it or think you better not stick up for yourself in this scenario. It just came off and rolled out of my tongue. And it wasn't an angry comment. It was just a rational, like, well, it's not really reasonable to argue about that or whatever. And I felt so happy on the drive home. I just thought, that's not something you would have been comfortable doing before. And we were happy and friends. And she said, I was a jerk. I'm sorry. And I said, it's actually okay, for real. Like, I just get that it's not about me. And that felt really good to just be friends too after. And yeah, believe like, okay, no, she's allowed to be cranky and it doesn't mean I'm no good or whatever.
That was awesome. Can we snap it up for Danielle? That was such a powerful example. Thank you for that. I don't want to speak for the group, but I know I've been there on those times where I've kind of swallowed it, what somebody said, and then I finally say something, and especially when it works out where they take responsibility and accountability. That's a beautiful example. Thank you for that, Danielle. Can we snap it up? Oh, did we snap it up already? Yeah, we can snap it up again.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. I'm gonna put you back on mute. So just wave to me if you want me to unmute.
Tom, can you hear me?
Yep. Go ahead.
Okay,
Brother.
I don't know. Are we done with the questions, or are we still going taking turns?
It's your turn. Which number would you like us to do?
Okay. Well, I wasn't sure if I was already done, but the one that I was actually really thinking about is the question. There was 5, which was, how do you adapt when persevering? Like, how do you that was the exact question, right? How do you adapt when persevering?
Exactly.
Okay. So for me, basically, I don't know, based on experiences, you are being resilient, you are persevering, you're trying, you're getting back up, but you also learn and realize that how certain things are so not in your control. And then it's okay, that you got to keep trying, but there are things that you just so can't control. But that's okay as well. And then you still get back up and you still do what you can. And plan B, plan C, you just try your best to keep it going. So yeah, just in life in general, knowing that certain things are just not in your control, and that's okay.
That's powerful. That reminds me of the Serenity Prayer. Does anybody know it? Mm-hmm. Can you say it for us, Adora? No, I think it's God, give me the knowledge to know what I can't control, and it's on the mug. Yeah, grab the mug. My grandma gave me a coffee mug with it. Thank you for that, Raza. And that's a good one to pick. Go ahead. Read it for us.
God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference.
Yes. It's powerful. Thank you for that. And thank you, Raza, for picking that number. Can we snap it up for Raza?
Thank you. Dora, can you read that one more time? That was so nice. Can you read that again?
Absolutely. It's on a mug from Tom's grandmother. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference.
Yes.
Wow, that's beautiful. Thank you.
I'll close this off with one. One common misconception of perseverance is that it has to be done through pain and grit and struggle and gnashing of the teeth. I think perseverance can also look like joy. Perseverance can also look like gratitude. Perseverance can also look like relationships and happiness. I don't think it always has to be you going upstream. I think it can also look like going downstream. Can we snap it up for time? That was deep.
Absolutely. It's almost like you're reading my answer.
Really? Go ahead. What's your answer?
I said a common misconception, it has to be painful and boring. I do not believe it has to be at all. No gnashing of teeth, ashes, or sackcloth.
Oh man. What anybody else have any ones they want to share before we go into our free write? Go ahead, Mariceli.
I actually want to talk about the common misconception as well.
Yes, go ahead.
And what I find is that a lot of people perceive being undisciplined as being as a state of human affairs, as it being, okay, I'm not really saying this correctly, but I'll just read what is there.
Okay.
One common misconception of perseverance is that it is more difficult than being undisciplined. Yeah, because I find the days that I have a lot of structure, those are my best days. You know, I end up writing something, I end up going to work, I come back, I, sit down with my family to eat dinner, and, just a very structured day, very disciplined day. And it's just one of the best days. But the days that I don't do anything, like Saturdays or Sundays or whenever it is that I'm not working, I just feel like the day slips by and it's not as enjoyable. And discipline.
That's wonderful.
You're welcome.
Can we step it up for Mariceli and for everybody's beautiful, wonderful answers? We are now going to move into our free write. So what we're going to do is give everybody about 7 minutes to free write, and you can expand upon any of the 10 prompts that we did, on the 2 sentences you wrote down in the beginning, anything that comes to mind. The thing to keep in mind is that you don't want to stop writing. You don't want to edit. You don't want to read what you're writing. You don't want to, if you had a pencil and I saw you erasing, I would smile at you and invite you not to erase. Because once again, we're tapping into our subconscious mind. We're trusting our inner voice. We're getting out of the way and channeling whatever is within us. If there's a point where you get stuck, you can't think of what to write, instead of pausing, just write perseverance over and over again and trust the process, and that writing for the whole entire time, it's going to help and it's going to be important. Any questions on what we're doing? No? Okay. So was there one? No? Danielle, let me unmute you. Go ahead.
Sorry, I missed, we're expanding on one of our answers.
So what we're going to do is you have 8 minutes to just write without stopping. And so you can write anything that comes to mind, or if you're looking for some things to write on, you can expand upon your answers in your free write, or you can write on your 2 sentences. Those are just some suggestions for what you can write if you get stuck or something. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah. Sorry, It went in and out. I couldn't hear. Thank you.
All good. We're feeding all the way to Canada, so I understand there might be some snow in the way or something. So.
Actually, there is. There is.
Okay, perfect. I'm going to mute everybody's lines while we're writing. So if you need anything from me, wave or put it in the chat box or message me on Facebook. Sound good? Let the writing begin. All right. Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Let's snap it up for the free write, please. That was actually 10 minutes.
It felt longer than normal. I was like, wow, this is way long.
I apologize. I got in the zone and I was like, I've probably gotten in the zone. And I looked and it was 9 minutes. I was like, I'm not done yet. 30 seconds. Oh, wonderful. Who would like to start us off by sharing theirs? That sounds like Mariceli.
I was thinking about it, and I'm like, oh man, this is so personal, but it's okay. I am
You can
among
tell.
friends, so
Can we snap it up for Mariceli? Send her some love.
okay. So I titled this "Free Ride." Very, very creative. I'm just kidding. So it starts off as I miss you so much. Here I am thinking about perseverance, and my thoughts lead me back to you. It's been 2 years, and there isn't a night I don't think about you. The distance has not mitigated my feelings for you. Unfortunately, you are the past, but that doesn't mean my future is not bright. It is through sheer perseverance that I will get over you. I will go to some foreign land in the near future and fall in love again in some magical way with someone else. That's what I hope. This time, knowing my path, this time knowing that I have an illness, this time knowing myself. Because when I met you, I was just a confused woman falling prey to her illness, and now I'm a self-assured, mature woman. I remember you fondly because you were so good to me. You showed me a world and a type of love that I could only dream of. My summer love, my darling. I have still not forgotten you, but time will allow me to forget. I will focus on myself, finish my master's, focus on my career, and if my journey allows me to find someone who will love me the way you loved me, then I will love again. I'm glad that I met you, because you set the bar so high, but sometimes I wonder if it's unobtainable for anyone else I meet. I must persevere on my own, because I don't expect anyone to save me. But God, wouldn't it be nice if I could save myself from the randomness that is my life before heading off to that distant land to fulfill my great desire of being a teacher? I'm sick of love getting in the way, so I must persevere through these emotions and forget you. Maybe it will be another castle, another bridge, and other angels that will lead me to someone else, for I am tired of remembering you and not enjoying the present presence of the people around me. It is always your brown eyes that I remember, for I look into mine and I see them. I'm glad that I met you for so many reasons, but you're a specter in my life that looms just beyond the horizon of my life, making everything seem unwelcoming and bittersweet, like the dark chocolate that you love to eat. Perseverance, perseverance, perseverance. Please, God Almighty, give me perseverance.
Mm. Can we snap it up for Mariceli for sharing that intimate and powerful poem?
Oh, beautiful.
We like to share 2 affirmations. So who would like to share? Go ahead, Adora.
Mariceli, I remember when this breakup first happened and just listening to the way your poetry has evolved over the many, many months. It's just been such a beautiful journey to be on with you. And just hearing where you are now just gives me so much joy and hope and light that it's a full evolution. And I just want to say, keep on persevering.
Yes, yes.
Thank you.
Raza, you said it was beautiful. Would you like to expand upon what was beautiful about it?
Yeah, I mean, it was just before she started, she said about personal. I mean, this I can tell it was so deep, so personal, and wow. Well, Adora said it actually, but I mean, I don't know in the past. This is the first time hearing it, but it was just so. Yeah, it was very empowering. Honestly, very powerful. I'm kind of speechless. It was so beautiful.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much. Can we snap it up one more time for Mariceli? Yes, indeed. Who would like to go next? Adora.
Immediate gratification has its pleasures, but I prefer mine delayed. When I know that consistency and perseverance are the only things I need between myself and gratification, it is especially enjoyable. I recently started a new course, and it's very straightforward, something I can do with great ease. The only catch is that I have to keep doing it for the next 6 months or so to earn my certificate and open up new employment opportunities. Perseverance is the only thing I need to gather together for this journey. But most journeys are not so straightforward. The path isn't just about turning up each week and doing what is set out in front of me. Many of these paths are winding, they fade out, they turn into pure dirt and dead ends. Sometimes they're steep and sometimes they feel like a walk in the park. The only thing is, you're not sure if you're even heading the right way. And you're not even sure you're going to like your destination or if it will all feel like it was worth the time and energy spent. And that is when I have to couple the perseverance up with faith, like a pair of strong horses driving my carriage ever onwards. Both must be nimble enough for the obstacles and responsive to my instinct. And I must nourish and trust them so that we all get there in the end.
Can we snap it up for Adora, please? Can we get 2 affirmations? Go ahead, Ash.
Hey, so like always, I love all of the words you say, and I love the way you put them together. But I feel like this time, not as if this wasn't applicable to other times, but this particularly I feel like resonated with me just because that idea of not knowing what's happening but moving forward anyways. I really like that. That really stayed with me. So
I agree. I love that part where you talked about how it's not always just showing up, that transition right there, where sometimes it is hard just showing up, but then sometimes it's not as just straightforward as showing up. So I really loved that detail, that journey that you highlighted in that part of your poem. So I appreciate that. And as always, I hope you turn that into a blog post. Can we step it up for Adora, please? Danielle, would you like to go next?
A different time, but I didn't really do it in a poetic. It's like a rambling journal, so everyone sounds beautiful. So maybe I'll try different next
That's
time.
okay. Rambling journals are what's a free write is. That works for us. Or you can share just a little section from it if you'd like.
Okay. I expanded on the experience of reflecting on that I was able to sort of speak my mind instead of just, be sad and quiet about someone being rude. So I said, I feel happy for what I accomplished today and that I was able to be someone I sometimes feel I am not. Gosh, I wrote quite messy. Sorry about that. But understand that I actually have been the person I have become the person I want to. That I have spent many years working towards doing that, and that making the mistakes actually helped me to grow. It's so messy. I can't even read my own writing. That the mistakes and the hardships in my past have all been worthwhile to get me to a place where I'm more comfortable with myself and my opinion. That my history was not without fruitfulness is very comforting, and knowing that the journey has been worth it. And coming to terms with the idea that it was not stupid or wasteful to try to change parts of my personality that I would wish to. And just to be faced with that truth today and own it and accept it instead of make excuses for why it isn't so, or wasn't good enough, or that there's been no progress, but just owning and sitting and living with the fact that you don't need to dismiss your progress. Yeah, the rest, it's a little hard to read, so maybe I'll just cut it there. Sorry.
That's wonderful. Can we snap it up for Danielle, please? Yes. Thank you so much for sharing with us. Can we share 2 affirmations, please?
Oh, I can go.
Go ahead, Mariceli.
I really thought I really liked the part when you said that your past experiences actually helped you. I don't remember exactly how you worded it, but they helped you develop into the person that you are currently, and that's something that I can resonate with. So again, thank you for sharing that. I know you were a little hesitant about sharing your poem, but I thought it was lovely.
Yes.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Adora.
And I really enjoyed just your reflection on this thing that you did, that you were saying to us earlier as well, that it's not like you planned it. It just came out of your heart. It was just something that needed to be said, and just how you are responding to something that you didn't plan, but you did anyway, and how this journey of faith and how it's worth it in the end. And especially how you were saying you love the fact that you remain friends, but even if you hadn't, I just get the sense that just the fact that this came from you seems to have just done wonders to you and your self-image and your self-reflection. And thank you for sharing that with us.
Yes, indeed. Can we snap it up for Danielle, please? Yes. I'm so glad you joined us and shared, Danielle. And it's exactly what we were looking for. There was nothing that we would have suggested doing different. It was exactly what was meant to be, because it's about the process, not the product. And we know that the process was helpful, so we appreciate that. Thank you. Okay. Ash is back, so let's change the subject. Nah, just kidding. Who would like to go next? Raza, Ash? Who would like to go next?
I guess I can go next.
Go for it.
I can try. Okay. Well, I just want to read the first 2 sentences that we all wrote. So those who have joined us kind of, maybe can tie this in. So the 2 sentences that I wrote initially was, bring it on, because I'm ready to deal with you head on. And life, at times you have knocked me down, but I've slowly learned to get immune by your blows and be resilient in your face. So those were the 2 initial thoughts that, came to me when we first started writing. So I kind of wrote this, and the title is Comeback. So, okay. So during the times of hardship and suffering, at first I thought that I would not be able to make it. Everything that I was blessed with and working towards, I felt like some people were trying to take it. Many made me look like a bad person and put me and my family through so much hell. I know that I'm not above the law, but I also never meant to break it. I really never went out of the way to find or create trouble, but I somehow decided to stop by and say, excuse me. This taught me another lesson that I've learned, that I can't control everything in life. All the pain and anguish that was caused, I will never be able to forget, really. It took me down hard and fast, but I still have not lost my ability to stride. I was struck with some curveballs and I was dealt some bad cards. But please do not undermine my ability and strength, because I still have the ability to stride.
Yes.
You can try to suppress my feelings. You can try to suppress my freedom. And you can take away all of my possessions. But you can't take away my knowledge. And once again, I will get back up and rise. And I want to end this with something, I don't know. I want to remain loving and humble. I do not claim to be this or that. I keep it real with a clean heart, and that is simply a matter of fact. And that's what I wrote.
Yes. Can we snap it up, please? Woo! Can we get
There was kind of mixed thoughts, racing thoughts kind of going through my head. Some had to do with some of the experiences, some past, some suffering, some pain, and being resilient and getting back up. So it was just a lot of racing thoughts going through my head. Sorry.
Brother, it was absolutely powerful. And we're going to share that by sharing our affirmations. Go ahead, Adora.
It's similar to what I was saying with Mariceli. That felt very vulnerable. And it reminds me of some of Mariceli's poetry at the very beginning of her heartbreak, and when she really began to be very kind of to be vulnerable and let us in and hear some of the details of what went down. And I'm just kind of like, I tip my hat to you for being able to come out in this way and just speak your truth with all its rawness and all its questioning and everything that's going on right now. And I'm very excited to see you a year plus from this process, where it will maybe also sound like how Mariceli sounds now, and you've processed it and you out at the other end and you're embracing this new life ahead of you. This is so wonderful. Thank you, Reza.
Yes, indeed. Can we get a second affirmation? Go ahead, Ash. Hang on. You're muted. Try now.
Better?
Yep.
Awesome. So I think I said before, in a couple of these sessions where I've been in, I often envy people who kind of have the ability to make their work like a conversation versus being, my stuff tends to be a lot of abstract, pop reference, whatever. And yours was so grounded and it felt like a conversation. So I was being told a story, I was having a conversation, and I was kind of going along the journey with you like all at once. And I really, really loved that.
Yes, indeed. Well said, Ash. And well said, Adora. Can we snap it up one more time for Raza? Thank you so much, brother.
Thank you.
And Ash, speaking of your poetry.
Oh, right. Yeah, I forgot. Because you scared me with that whole we got to change the subject thing. Oh, God. Okay. I titled it because I'm a nerd. And the title is Evening Class. So, perseverance. Perseverance. I cannot tell you how many times I sat in cross-legged or tucked knee until my feet went numb, until the antenna I used to reach down into the earth and ground myself went completely silent in a way that should have blocked the signal but didn't do that at all. On these red and blue mats, everything should be garish, but it's homey, comfy. These aren't pillows, but I lay myself here to rest anyways. We start every class with our values, and perseverance always manages to rear itself and tear away from the rest at a dead run. Little hands and little mouths and big minds want to know what it is. How do I spell it? How do I say it? How do I use it? Does it make me faster, taller, better? I am at the head of this ship for this evening, so I want to tell them yes, but I am still a little hand myself. So instead I say, what it can do is move you from one place to another. It can carry you that little bit farther when you're at 49 and master says, give me 60. It can make your staff faster and your punches stronger, but there's a cost. And people who are not real with you will not tell you this. They'll let you believe that you can go on without something easing the locomotion. A cost, like a wish, except for perseverance, the cost is yourself. Build an altar of your body and your muscles and sacrifice self-doubt. Build your mind into an altar with pumse and sacrifice your length, your laziness. Build an altar of your eyes and hands and sacrifice your knowledge. We know nothing, absolutely nothing. And until you know that, you can't make it. Perseverance above it. For me, it's the moon and the sun. I look up and I can see it. And even in times when I cannot see it, I can feel the gravity pulling me forward unceremoniously. I trip all over the place. I fall over myself into the circle of a wave. I start the next day's journey without knowing the cost or the length, but I am going. You'll be going too. But there's no way to say all of that with this soft mouth and little hands. So instead, we both sat down and we emptied our ears until our antennae were numb.
Yes. Can we snap it up for Ash, please? Can we get 2 affirmations? Okay, let's go with Danielle.
I really liked that there was like an animated, adorable part about it. Like the antenna made me think of being a child right away. And there was a beautiful fantasy that was not challenging to connect to the meaning. Like it wasn't so distorted that you're like, we'll never know. It was really beautiful. I liked it. It had a fun element as well as thoughtfulness.
Yes. Well said, Danielle. Adora?
I know what you were saying earlier about enjoying the conversational poems or free writes, but yours always transport me completely. It's like what Danielle was saying. There's always joy, there's always fun, but there's also catharsis and just a place of depth. And yeah, I love the pop references, you know, they are sometimes some of my favorite bits. So yeah, just keep on, please, doing what you're doing your own way.
Yes, I 100% agree and echo all of that. Can we stand up for Ash? Yes, indeed. All righty. So I will read my poem, and then it's time for our brilliant and amazing feature. Does that sound good? Woo!
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Here comes mine. I love the way you fill the room, whether it's your fragrance, grace, intelligence, or elegance. I love that you feel loved because of our love, and I love how your love fills me like a balloon. I am a celebration because of you and our love. I love teeny tiny itty bitty turtles, sticking their adorable necks out of their super small shells, stretching and sunbathing next to their parents. I love that. I love eating tamales on a Wednesday in the park overlooking the city. I love writing. I love going up a roller coaster and that dit, 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 dit noise that it makes, a mixture of excitement and nervousness vying for my attention. I love that split-second moment when you're at the top and everything tops and you look down and you start to yell. I love swimming in saltwater pools on a hot day. I love yoga. I love bar. I love spin class, especially when the instructor is yelling, "It's just you and the bike. You've got nothing to lose and everything to gain." And Beyonce's blaring through the speakers. I love those moments. I love reading a brilliant fantasy novel. I love forgetting the plot of Harry Potter and reading it again like it's my first time. I love Black Panther, mostly because I love Lupita. And also a little bit because I love Michael B. Jordan with his shirt off and Chadwick's calm, confident, sexy demeanor. I love patience. I love warm bread straight from the oven, burning my fingers to eat, but it's worth it. I love writing. I love sharing. I love connecting. I love gratitude. I love those moments where you realize it's all worth it. The entire journey, every scrape and bruise, every story and moment. And if I got to choose it all over again, I wouldn't change a thing because I love it all. Yay!
Wow. Tom,
Yes, indeed. Can we share 2
I'm
affirmations?
so jealous, man. You got a good life. Bring me some enchiladas.
Every Wednesday.
I love the roller coaster part too. Tick, 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 tick. Wow, that was so true.
Thank you, brother. Can we get one more affirmation? Go ahead, Mari Sally.
I thought the turtle part was amazing with the sunbathing.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. And again, Tamale Wednesday. That sounds amazing too. And then the bread, I was just like, this is like the best poem ever. You know?
Thank you so
Yeah.
You mentioned so much food. I was just like, oh my goodness, like.
much.
Yeah, Tom, that's the mercy. We haven't had lunch yet.
It's like I think I'm gonna disconnect now. No, I'm just kidding. I'm gonna go get some tamales and some bread.
Wonderful. Well, thanks everybody, and thank you so much for sharing your insights and your poems and your vulnerability with us. Can we step it up one more time for yourselves? Yes, indeed. And this brings us to our feature part of I was going to say evening, but it's not the evening. Our feature part of the afternoon. Our feature today goes by the name of Charlene E. Green. You might also know her as Hustle Diva. Charlene is a brilliant writer. Everything she does stems from her writing, whether it's the novels or books she's written, whether it's her blog posts, whether it's her insightful and uplifting poems, or whether she's working with somebody as a life coach consultant. All of it stems from her ability to get people to connect with their gifts and to recognize that every single one of us is born with a reason and a purpose within us. And so we want to thank Charlene for being our feature, especially since she has the flu. So can we go ahead and give a healing and warm snaps for Hustle Diva?
Hello, everybody.
Hey.
Can you hear me pretty good?
We can hear you wonderfully.
Okay, great. So I don't know how you want me to go into this. Tell me what you want me to do. This is my first time on your show, so I don't know how the feature is supposed to like dip in, but let me know.
Usually people just do it the way they normally do it. You kind of intro a poem, share their poem. It's more intimate of a space than a live open mic. So sometimes people get responses from people. Kind of whatever you're feeling. It's your time and space. Okay,
perfect. So while I was listening, I changed poems several times because of some of the things that I heard from the writing. And so I'm going to kind of touch on, if I can remember people's names. Who had the poem about the breakup?
Oh, that would be me.
Mariceli.
Okay, so Mariceli. Okay, so I have one for you. Okay, so there's a couple of things. So I want to make sure that I give that moment to you, because that was a really important poem that you wrote about persevering through a breakup. So I'm going to start with that poem, and that poem is called Time Management. And pardon me, because I'm like going to try to breathe while I do these poems. All right, here we go. Time management. Over time, the heavy of you has gotten so much lighter. The weight of my affection has decreased to something manageable, pocket-sized, only visible when I decide to take it out and look at it. And even then, it's just a glance. Sometimes a lingering gaze, but nothing I can't handle because I'm in control now. I learned how to buck the system, the one where my anxieties had me strung up, doing a painful puppet dance, slave to their uncomfortable beat. But those days are over. Because I finally accepted that I would never be able to outrun my heart. Couldn't even escape it by hiding in the darkness of my own shadow. It's etched there too. So I stopped running, resisting, got proactive, realized I couldn't just hang around and wait for time to make things better in its own time. I had to get aggressive and push the clock forward. When the sun shines so brightly in your path that you can't see clearly, beats down on you with so much vigor that you feel assaulted, you don't stay there exposed to its harshness. You find ways to diffuse it, protect yourself so you don't get burned. Now, when I window shop you, it's from a healthy distance, without the compulsion to rearrange your exhibited position, re-accessorize you to fit my preferences. I accept that I may only be able to admire you from afar, where I fantasize briefly about what it would be like to take you off display, out of the view and reach of the others who have been coveting you. And then I keep walking. Can't loiter too long because time has a tendency to get away from you if you don't monitor it closely. It'll run amok and then have you scrambling to backtrack on important things you didn't tend to while you were distracted, like keeping the pieces of yourself in proper order from coming unassembled. And amid the chaos of your undoing, you'll realize you were so busy standing unprotected in the unbearable sun, getting scorched, that now there's not enough time to put yourself back together before the parts get lost. And that's that piece.
Woo!
Woo.
Thank you.
So you're welcome. I just wanted to encourage you on that journey. I feel you, and it does take time, but it also takes perseverance. So thank you for sharing that very personal writing about that. So that was for you, time management. I want to talk about kind of how we sort of live for other people and not for ourselves through this next poem, which is called Nobody's Gonna Make It. This is not a test you will pass. It's the only exam you get, a no-grade final. Hate to be the bearer of bad reminders, but nobody's gonna make it out of this class alive. See, you act like you in control, running things, like you got time to do it all later, like you just know you got next week, tomorrow, 30 minutes from now to visit, call, profess love, be with who you love, lend a hand, work things out, act right, backtrack to get it right, forgive, apologize, enjoy what and who there is to enjoy, say and do what's in your heart. You spend most of your class time living for them, not for you, doing what they say you should, because, hey, they know what you need, like, want better than you, because they think they qualified to run your thing, like they got time to do you and them. But this class is for learning about who we are, what makes us tick, getting the happy we all deserve our way, for growing into our best, adding joy, not stress to the lives of others, so that when class is dismissed, whatever time that is, and we turn our life in on the way out, we can say we got all the answers right for ourselves. But don't squander away these minutes kicked back in your chair thinking you can just lift this test up later. Tick, tock. You act like you got time, but you can't see the clock. And that's that piece.
Woo!
Woo! Okay, so somebody, I think it was the one male on the call. Somebody said something about rising. Something about and still I'm gonna rise.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think that was a part of a bit of my story.
I think it was you. Okay, so this poem is I actually wrote it for women, but because you said that about rising, this poem is actually called Rise, a Proclamation. So it's a little journey for women, but still. All right. Broken women never let being disassembled stop them from superheroing. They know the value of their severed parts. Keep them swept in a neat pile within reach at all times, aware that their thorny jagged is the ammunition required to slash barriers, shred red tape, burst bubbles, dismember egos, poke holes in sexist theories, and cut through bullshit from dawn to dusk. Broken women know their crumble is mighty, a potpourri of coveted gems. They know that even when fragmented, the best parts of them, the most craved, the most essential, are alive and energized, can still be spotted amid the debris and extracted bit by bit to self-medicate and reboot, then gathered purposefully onto their fingertips and dispersed evenly among the deserving, fed to the needy, used to mend hearts, repress wild temperaments, sedate lives, and butcher the path of every rogue attempting to thieve the peace of those they love. Broken women don't quell their ascent, delay their shine, hinder their grind, or stifle their smiles because of a little disarray. They have no shame in their altered state because they know triumph resides there. And they will forage the wreckage in their souls to showcase it, to teach those who haven't figured out how to be successful at surmounting this life while using the pieces of their frayed spirits as weapons and moxie on the way to the top. You ain't heard? Winning is how they repair themselves. Slaying is how they stunt. Smoothing the trail for others in spite of their mangle is the secret to their glow. Broken is just another word for immortal. Strength training at its best. A temporary obstacle course they make their bitch daily. A setup for the greatest wizardry you will ever see. And that's that piece.
Woo!
Wow. So beautiful.
Okay, that was a nice whistle there. Thank you for that. So I want to kind of go in another direction, and it has to. I've tried to choose poems that had something to do with perseverance, and this particular poem I wrote in a writers group, and it was to write about regret as if it had a voice. And so this is what I wrote, and this poem is called Affliction. My name is Regret. I'm the slickest, trickiest manipulator alive. You think I reside in a space and time separate from you. But oh, silly rabbit, didn't I just say I was the trickiest? And I ain't just for kids. My game is tight. I run it on all of you, women and men, boys and girls. I don't discriminate. My job is to wreak as much havoc on your psyche as many times a day as I can. See, I live in the backyard of the intuition you refuse to heed, where I buoyantly wait for your train wreck decisions to play out like a string of box office flops. I'm always packed and ready to make my ascent to the height of your emotions, pitch my tent, camp out in your cognizance, hike the trails of your thoughts, hunt for the frailest of them, lie in wait, and then pray. I pray so hard for you to second guess yourself, give in to the pressures of people and life, and slip into the abyss of situations that'll be the death of your sanity. I bank on you being steeped chin deep in your insecurities, depleted self-esteem, and lack of faith in your ability to navigate your storms. Like the uncontrollable force of quicksand, your financial fears, need for acceptance and love, craving for material things that you mistakenly rely on for joy, they squeeze you breathless, sink you into a state of panic where you can't picture a healthy way forward, where you believe you have no choice but to surrender to inferior options. I'll cheer as you tumble down the dark hole of sleepless nights, random outbursts of unruly sobbing, churning stomach syndrome, fear of retaliation, longing for second chances, mental and physical tumult. Oh, the thought of your constant misery, self-hatred, and endless discomfort makes my glands all waterfall, has me salivating like a ravenous wolf, fangs bared, anticipation dripping from my tongue like fresh tree sap. I can taste every drop of the remorse that will hemorrhage through the bitter tears, whose streaks will tattoo your cheeks in the boldest font, so that every time you look in the mirror, you'll be forced to remember the scenarios you chose that backfired, the times you cocked your mouth, emptied its chamber, and annihilated people with words you can't take back, how you betrayed yourself, forfeited your happiness repeatedly, because cowardice is your addiction, the crack in your brain's pipeline decomposing your faculties. And I will roar in amusement, beat my chest with arrogance, revel in the ease of my accomplishment, in the depth of your weakness. And then I will smugly make my way back to the yard, where I will kick my feet up and slumber peacefully, delighted that your life has yet again reached a new level of inescapable hell. And that's that piece. I'm just going to take a swig of water here.
And I think we have time for one more.
Okie doke.
Please.
Good, because that's I only have one more left on the list.
Perfect.
Okay, so this is from the archives. It's one of my signature poems. This is called Self-Construction. Every day is a new day for me to add a new brick to this complicated building I call myself. A never-ending structure that requires my full attention and dedication daily. But at the end of the day, the fact remains it won't be any more complete than it was the day before. Because in the grand scheme of things, this project was never meant to be finished, only improved upon continuously, made stronger, sturdier, more attractive. The most inspiring model on the block. The one with all the qualities and amenities everyone else wants their self-building to have. And if they spent more time focusing on their own floor plan instead of looking at other people's, it could. Each day I fight to be true to myself and stay on the path myself told me to get on and that I know I belong on. But sometimes myself finds it hard to listen to itself's truth because I'm too busy entertaining the false truth that the leak in my self's roof let seep through and damage the floors my self-esteem was standing on, causing me to fall through to the depths of confusion and despair. And once again, the foundation is in need of repair. But I'm tired because it took me a long time to put in those floors. Note to self, next time, use better quality wood. A new day of construction is a new mystery because half the time I can't predict what life's weather is going to be or what tools I'm going to need in case of a severe storm or if I'll even be able to access them. Because sometimes my toolbox is locked and I can't find the key. So if today compassion and patience are what I need, here's hoping Home Depot has them stocked up in the do-it-yourself aisle. Otherwise, the day's work might not get done. I try to be nice and invite folks over to see my progress, show them how myself has grown and changed, give them a taste of what I've accomplished so far. But people are careless, and they come in forgetting that I'm a work in progress. And the next thing I know, they've torn a gaping hole in my joy, knocked over my bucket of love, broken my last jar of confidence, sat on my kind heart, spilled hurtful words all over my feelings, and used up every drop of my trust. Then I'm set back what seems like 5 years, all that hard work down the tube, and I'm sorry I ever let their sorry asses in. Warning to self. Be very careful whom you allow access to the most delicate areas of your establishment from now on, being especially cautious of haters, because they don't give a damn about you or your hard-earned evolution. Sometimes just knowing myself will never be completely built makes me want to go on strike, like not lay another brick, pound in any more nails, or insert those beams. I want to throw my hands up in distress and scream out loud that I've done my best and I can't do anymore. And then I want to kick rocks and just vacate the site for a few weeks. And I even want to picket. But then I realize I'd look stupid picketing my own growth and advancement because there's no one there to fight for myself but myself. And if I'm wasting time fighting with myself over the fact that I don't want to fight to be a better self, then in retrospect, I'm actually being selfish. Because now I'm denying the world my own self-improvement, which is very necessary in order for myself to be able to have healthy relationships and be a positive influence on others. So I guess that idea is out. See, this self-construction biz is personal, so I can't really hire anyone to help me because no one can change or enhance myself except myself, which is sometimes hard for myself to accept because that means no matter how many ways I try to get out of it, I'll never be able to. I got to do all the work, which I guess isn't such a bad thing after all, because they say if you want something done right, you should do it yourself. And this work will never end. It's an everyday battle to solidify my self's constitution and make sure each piece is drilled, caulked, hammered, and glued as tight as it can be. So although I know myself will never be complete, I know for sure that as long as myself is at the helm, myself will always be in the best hands. Thank you.
Woo! Yes, indeed. Thank you so much, Charlene. That was powerful.
Thank you.
Where can folks reach out to you if they want to say hey?
You can reach out to me at hustledivaspeaks.com. hustledivaspeaks.com. And you can email me through there. You can look around and listen to some other poems. You can buy my books and check out some of my other products. I've got T-shirts. Yeah, that's where all the good information is.
Wonderful. And I'll be tagging you on Facebook. So if folks want to connect with you on Facebook.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. And for everybody joining us, we're just going to take 5 minutes to give closure to the workshop, and then we'll be on our way. Does that sound good? Perfect.
Sounds good.
Okay. So what we're going to do first is selfie. So throw up the peace sign or the heart sign. Ready? Here we go. 3, 2. Perfect. And the way we'd like to conclude, Danielle's here. We'll redo the selfie. Danielle, we're taking a quick selfie. So either put a peace sign up or a heart sign. Does that sound good? Okay, here we go. 3, 2. Perfect. Okay, cool. The way we like to conclude is to give everybody a chance to share an affirmation with the feature and to share an affirmation for the process. So who would like to start us off? Go ahead, Adora.
Oh my, I feel so empowered after those poems. I especially love, because I come to so many of these. I love that as a feature, you responded to the workshop. You switched things around and you specifically were, dedicating one here, there, and everywhere and just inspiring. And of course, ending with something that is about you and your process, but also made us all feel, I think, affirmed in our process of self-construction. So thank you so much for this.
Thank you.
The workshop generally, I love it as it is. I love all the people that participate locally, but it's especially exciting when we have international visitors. So hey, Danielle! And that is what's so special about this. You never know who's going to turn up, and it's always a treat, whoever it is.
Yes, indeed. Thank you, Adora.
Thank you.
Who would like to go next?
I'll go next.
Go ahead, Marceli.
So, Hustle Diva, oh my goodness, I'm so glad that you spoke today. I feel like, just like Adora stated, I feel so empowered, and that the warning in the last poem that you said about how you need to be careful with, the people that you let into your life. That's something that I really need to take into heart. Because, like, you go to Home Depot and you try to rebuild yourself, and then people just walk in and step all over you, and it's just starting all over again. And again, thank you for sharing your words, especially the first poem.
Thank you.
Really,
and if I can just say, I actually am an empowerment poet. That is like my title. So it's interesting that you're the second person that has said you felt so empowered, because that just solidifies why I call myself an empowerment poet. So thank you for that, both of you.
You're very welcome. And Tom, with the workshop, just leave it as it is. It's amazing. And every time I'm able to participate in it, I always walk out feeling a little more enlightened. So don't change it.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Who would like to affirm next?
I guess I can go. So again, Hustle Diva, thank you so much for such beautiful, such deep stuff. And thank you for hearing us out earlier and then accordingly responding, to bits from our poems and just relate to that. And, gosh, I'm still absorbing some of the stuff. There's so much. My gosh, you can just so beautiful stuff. So thank you so much for sharing such beautiful poems on so many different things. Appreciate it very much. Yes. And for the process and workshop, Tom, it's again great. Always good to connect with such amazing talent and like-minded people, and they're all unique poems and stories. And I also walk away learning something new every single time. So thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you, too.
Who would like to go next?
I'd like to. No one else is going to go. So for the speaker, Miss Diva, that was amazing. I can't tell you, I know that you're sick right now, but your voice is so commanding, but without being demanding, which I can find some other poets to be, or some other speakers to be. And seeing as you're both, I don't know if it's the marrying of the two, but it's it's so pleasurable to listen to, but it's also like it immediately opens you up to take in whatever you're giving, and you give so much. So thank you.
Thank you.
And then, as always, I'm a huge fan of your sessions, Tom. This is, as a person who doesn't always get to do all the writing that they want to do, this is a way that I can kind of keep myself accountable when I got the time to do it every month. And I love it. So,
thank you. Appreciate that. Danielle, would you like to share?
Sure. Sure. I think what Ashley was saying, I really felt that as well about it was commanding but not demanding, because I was curious why I was so open to what you were saying, and it's because that it's not demanding, but it's wise and it's encouraging and it's inspirational, and that is a really hard line to walk, because just speaking to different people that are either artistic or spiritual, it can slip over into the demanding really easy. And that's when we close up shop and don't want to be involved anymore. It's like, okay, I get it. You know everything. I know nothing. Here we go again. But there's so much love in what you're saying. And there's that line of being comfortable with your wisdom and not apologizing for it, but also being loving and open and sort of in that free feminine. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
And do you have a affirmation you'd like to share for the group or for the process?
Yeah, this is my first time, and just in the matter of 3 minutes before I sort of got on the train, I was like, "Oh, it's now? Oh, okay. I'll just go to A&W one sec." So I'm really glad I did, and I was quite nervous to be honest, but I'm really glad, and thank you everyone for being so open and encouraging, and thank you for doing this for the two hosts. It's a really wonderful way to connect.
Thank you.
I was looking for something like that. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. And Hustle Diva, can you share an affirmation with yourself, and if you have one for the process as well?
An affirmation for myself? Mm-hmm. Wow. I've never been asked to do that before. That's interesting. I think that, I can say this. The fact that I'm sick as hell and that, that I persevered through doing this feature is like a real thing, because I mean, this flu has like knocked me all the way out. And there were a couple times where I was like, oh, I don't think I'm gonna be able to do it. And then I was like, no, you can do these poems. Like you can say these poems. You gonna say these poems. And so, like you just got to get medicated up. Just get your meds on. And my job, is to empower. And so it wasn't so much about not wanting to do it. It was like, no, you have a job to do and you're going to go and do it. And I'm so glad that I pushed through. So that's my affirmation for myself, is congratulations to me for being sick and pushing through. And then for the process, this is my first time hearing the show, being on the show. And I really, really enjoyed what I heard. I came in late, but I really enjoyed the process, and I enjoyed hearing everybody's writing and how personal people got. I think that it's nice that it's intimate. I think that it sounds like you guys know each other a little bit, like you have done this together before. So it sounds like there's some camaraderie, and I really appreciated that too. So Tom, you're really doing something magical here. So please keep it up.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Can we snap it up for Hustle Diva? For all of y'all.
Yay! I'll snap it up for myself.
Yes, indeed. But I just want to affirm you one more time, Hustle Diva. Absolutely brilliant, vulnerable, intimate, amazing. I want to thank you for the theme. I believe that we all really got a lot of value from Perseverance, from the theme you selected, for the energy you bring, for the intentionality, for the impeccability in the words you choose, for really raising our vibrations through your words.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
Yes, indeed. And for the group, how wonderful is that? I loved what Hustle Diva pointed out, that even though none of us really, or only a few of us know each other in quote unquote real life, that through connecting month after month and sharing, that really we are building a tribe, a family, a community here. And it really is because it's through the power of vulnerability, creativity, expression, and I love seeing how each time people are using less and less disclaimers before they read their poetry. And so I love seeing how we're all getting more and more confident in trusting what our inner voice put on the paper. And so I hope that you continue to join us in building this community and your creativity. The expression session for next month's really easy to remember. Today is the 18th. Next month will also be on the 18th. It'll be on March 18th. Noon Pacific Standard Time, 2 p.m. if you're in places like Wisconsin or Chicago, 3 p.m. if you're on the East Coast, whether that's New York or Florida, 8 p.m. if you're in London time, 9 p.m. if you're in Nigerian time. So feel free to join us next month. We'd love to have you. I already have in mind who our next feature will be, and I have a feeling they don't know it's coming, but I'm going to strongly encourage them to be our feature.
All right.
So, everybody, this has been absolutely amazing. Can we snap it up one more time for yourselves? As always, everybody, I'm wishing you peace and blessings. Have a good rest of your day.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Thanks, Tom.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.